everyone, and welcome to BrainWatched 3, the sequel to BrainWatched 1. I am your host, ZehOverseer, and as always, I am joined by Chippers.
Stop having wars about DC and Marvel.
And Cubicle Wings.
DC for life.
Now boys, podcast has just started. Save it for the end.
No, we're nerds. We have to fucking war.
Throwing down right now.
No, it's a good table.
How did you get that gun in that straight jacket?
You have no idea. I have magic hands.
Magic hooves.
Better question, how did Zay get a fucking horse in a straight jacket?
Very carefully.
Now, would he wear the straitjacket on the bottom legs, or would it be on all four legs?
The reason I said this is a sequel to BrainWatched 1 is because we're once again talking about DC, and very specifically, we are here to do a review of the Zack Snyder's Justice League. I almost called it the Snyder Cut, but even though that's basically what everyone is calling it, that's not its official name. I want to be, thorough in this podcast. But yeah, we're reviewing Zack Snyder's Justice League, which came out, I think over a week ago at this point. We're recording this March 29th. So, the movie's been out for a while. All three of us have seen it. If you have not seen it, there is going to be spoilers in this podcast. So, I would recommend, unless you don't care about...
For a movie that came out in 2017.
Yes, but this movie is very different. So, for real, if you don't want to be spoiled... please go watch the movie. If you can't watch the movie, then I guess just wait until you can before watching this podcast.
And keep in mind, when you do go to watch the movie, it's a 4-hour movie, so good luck with that.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Now, before we talk about this movie, there's something very important that I would like to discuss. If J-Chip's the Batman of the group, and I'm the Flash,
what
would that make Cubicle?
I thought Cube was
Batman.
I thought Cube was the Batman.
No. You're the one who brought us.
I was Batman.
You're the one who brought us all together. You're Batman.
Oh my god.
Oh, in reference of the movie.
Yes. Honestly, I was thinking about it. I think you might be Cyborg, and for one very important reason, which I think you can demonstrate for us.
You guys are not all that fun.
I don't like this bit anymore.
Where were we?
Dumb bit. We haven't even talked about the movie yet.
No, I'm bad at keeping time. Anyway, yeah, the movie. Let's talk about it. What do you guys think?
Pretty good.
Overall, a much better improvement on the 2017 version.
I give it a B+.
I did not, I know the obvious thing to do would be to go back and watch the original 2017 movie and compare the two, but I decided not to do that. I want to see how Zack Snyder's... I don't want to compare it to anything. I want to judge Zack Snyder's Justice League on its own. In a bubble, completely without context. And without context...
apparently Zack Snyder never even saw the Joss Whedon cut of Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exist in his mind.
We let's all forget the original 2017 one happened. It's in the past now. Nobody cares.
By the way, me and Zay watched this movie together. Q watched it on his own. When me and Zay were watching it, he practically knew more than me because I hadn't watched the movies leading up to it. The universe that it's in. I haven't watched any of their movies, their singular movies.
What have you seen?
I saw Man of Steel, and I saw bits and pieces of Batman v Superman.
I mean, pretty much those were the only two movies leading up to this one.
This is basic,
and those are the only ones that matter.
This is basic.
This is basically only movie number 3.
Yeah, this is a trilogy.
Yeah,
in which I guess it's a trilogy in the fact that I guess the main character would be Superman, even though he's only in a third of the final film.
I thought when this cut was going to come out that they'd have a little more Superman, but very similar to the Joss Whedon cut, he was just kind of left to the end.
Yeah, except this movie did it way better.
Yeah, definitely. Way, way better.
Zay, do you want to repeat your thoughts about what Superman was to the movie?
Before, like, talking about the Joss Whedon Justice League, what annoyed me in that is that Superman basically felt like a Deus Ex Machina. That's pretty much what he was. They bring him back, and then the climax of the movie is just, he shows up, he beats up Steppenwolf, and then the movie's over. This movie does not go like that, which is, like...
I mean, he still does kind of just show up and beat the hell out of Steppenwolf.
Right, but he's not but he's isn't the thing that saves the day.
Well, I mean, there's just a bigger threat at large there than Steppenwolf.
He basically did what Captain Marvel did for Endgame.
Yeah, pretty much. But shit, did I actually say what I thought? This movie's very fun.
Yes,
it is. The pacing is really weird. It's a long movie for a reason. And there's so much slow-mo for no reason.
There's so much of it.
But, I mean, that's just Zack Snyder. If there's no slow-mo, it ain't a Zack Snyder film.
Zay, what was the shot where it was like a slow-mo scene and it like zoomed in on like...
a sesame seed?
Yeah, it zoomed in on a fucking sesame seed. I'm like, what was the purpose of that?
This movie...
It's a dramatic sesame seed.
This movie is 4 hours long, and it did not need to be 4 hours. This movie is too damn long. But those 4 hours, I enjoyed myself quite a bit. By around like the 3.5 hour, well, maybe not between 3 hours and 3.5 hours. I was so tired. I was like, okay, I'm ready for this movie to wrap up now.
How long was Endgame?
Endgame was 3 hours, right?
It was almost 3 hours. I think it was like 2 hours and 40 some odd minutes. It was definitely a longer MCU film. Mm-hmm. Also, too, speaking of MCU stuff, did you hear that the Russo brothers said that they're now open to the idea of a 4-hour cut of Endgame?
No.
They're going after the success of this.
No.
Yeah, let's just make Endgame longer.
No.
I'm more curious, what could they extend in Endgame? Like, it's a decent movie. Sure, it does seem a little fast-paced, but there's not much else you could do.
I mean, if you're gonna make a 4-hour Endgame, spend that extra hour explaining how the fucking time travel works.
Oh, I mean, they did their best.
You know what's gonna happen? To extend it, they're gonna show everyone that got snapped.
Yeah. It's just gonna be an hour and a half of just people disappearing.
Oh god, the I don't feel so good scene stretched out into like 10 minutes.
At that point it would just be like, fucking die already!
That's not...
Mr. Stark, I don't feel good. I'm really not feeling good, man. I don't feel great.
Just 10 minutes.
My stomach's kind of turning. It's really hard for me to breathe right now. Although I'm just not feeling good, Mr. Stark. Stark is just not feeling good. Nothing's feeling good right now.
You made Peter Parker sound like fucking Morty.
Oh, jeez, stop, Mr. Stark. I'm just not feeling too good right now. Peter, just shut up. Shut up and dust already.
Anyways, aren't we supposed to be talking about DC, not Marvel?
Yeah.
Same thing.
So I wanted to say this. If you remember in the first BrainWatching, I went on a long tangent about how happy I was that this movie was being made. That Zack Snyder was able to actually finish his movie and release it. But what I didn't mention in that podcast is that, honestly, I was not expecting this 4-hour cut to be good. Because I've seen Batman v Superman, and that movie is just as bad as everyone says it is. I was not expecting a 4-hour Justice League by him to be a good movie. I know that might sound shocking if you listened to the first podcast, but the reason I didn't bring it up there is because that's not what I found important to talk about. But with that being said, I really did not expect this movie to be good, and turns out I was totally wrong, and I'm very happy to be wrong. That makes me even more happy that this movie got made.
I definitely expected the changes to be better, a better improvement of the original, but I didn't expect it to go that far with it, with changing things up and actually doing it for the better.
Right? I'm like, this needs, at some point in the future, this whole saga we've gone through with this Justice League movie, this needs to be a documentary. Like, I want to know what the hell happened behind the scenes, everything that went down, because, like, I want that in a documentary, because if you look at the 2017 Justice League, which, you know, Joss Whedon took over after Zack Snyder left, and you look at Zack Snyder's Justice League now, it's like, both of those movies are a total feeling of, like, are you sure this is the same guy? Because, like, you watch the 2017 Justice League and you're like, is this really the same guy who did Avengers? And then you watch the Zack Snyder Justice League and you're like, is this the same guy who did Batman v Superman?
Yeah. Well, I think the best part, I think the reason it did so well is because Zack was able to kind of look at some of the reviews of the 2017 Justice League. Able to see a little bit of, like, what people didn't like, what people had critiques about, and not many directors get to release a movie, have 3 years of criticism, and then be able to, like, correct all that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, too, it's a bit more of an experiment than anything. Like, not many studios would ever approve a 4-hour cut of a movie that failed, like, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But, I'm hoping that the studios end up looking at this and, you know, realizing that if like, studios think that people don't know what they want, per se, they've just always assumed that their franchises have to run certain ways. People have all these fan theories on how things are supposed to function, but studios will never go through with them because that's just not what the audience wants. I find this is a great example of, you know, you just got to listen to your audience a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is where your money is.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I really do hope.
I'm not sure what the numbers are for, like, Crave or HBO subscriptions, but I'm going to bet that they had a huge spike of new subscriptions happen as soon as
Oh, hell yeah, they did. Like,
yeah, I was just about to say, like, I really hope that this 4-hour cut, I really hope it becomes a success.
For me, who lives in Canada there, we don't exactly have HBO Max.
Yeah.
Well, what I have is I had to get a Crave subscription, and then they have a subsection for HBO, which you have to buy another subscription for. So I had to pay for 2 subscriptions there just to get one
That's
movie.
fucking dumb.
It was a little dumb. I was kind of hoping this movie would be available to buy, like, on Amazon Prime or something, but it's only through a subscription base.
Actually, talk about the stuff in the movie itself. I'd say the biggest, like, glow up in this version is Steppenwolf, by far. He's a fucking badass in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
He's...
I remember just 2017 Justice League. He was so creepy in a way, like, off-putting. Just the way he was talking about the mother boxes, like, Mother, I'm here. Why is he so attached to these boxes? Because I was actually kind of curious. They actually did re-record a lot of Steppenwolf's lines. Like, if they compare a lot of the lines from the 2017 to the 21 version, it's
They actually did re-recordings of a lot of people's lines in the movie.
Ciaran Hinds?
Ciaran Hinds, yeah, or Ciaran Hinds, whatever. He actually did really well.
Like, everyone was making fun of the new costume design when it was first revealed, but, like, he's so threatening. Like, those spikes actually
I like that they
are actually pretty scary.
They gave him motivation too.
Yeah,
I like the fact that they gave Steppenwolf more motivation on retrieving these mother boxes. Like, at first, it was in the original one, he was just getting them because he had some weird attachment to him. In this one, they explain more. He's trying to redeem himself. You actually give your villain motivation, which made the movie so much more enjoyable. Because you know, like, what stakes he's putting himself to get these boxes back, rather than him just going, I want the boxes.
I love your impression of him.
Boxes. Give me the boxes.
By the way, a character that I really felt like really changed things. Like after, you know, Wonder Woman's terrible movie, that came out not too long ago.
The
Uh,
1984 one.
yeah. Like I know Justice League came before, but like this new one, like just made me like the character more. Like I don't know what it was, but like it just made me, even though it's a past movie, she earned redemption for me.
I mean, to be quite honest, I'd prefer if they played a different jingle every time she came in rather than the...
That's true. That's true. But
Wonder Woman turns her head. She goes to take a shit.
But her and her people played a pretty pivotal role in this movie. And they did really well with her character. And the difference between the two, like you said, there's like a lot of re-recordings for things. One of the things is that they toned down her grunts, because in the original it kind of sounded like sexual in a way.
Well, I mean, they really sexualized her in the original one there. Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows the Flash scene where he lands on top of her.
Yeah.
Don't remind me.
Like I said, she was much better in this version because she definitely did a lot for the whole group. She really added to the whole group.
I do feel though that she was more I feel like she was more just there for
exposition.
Yeah.
Exposition. Yeah. Just kind of telling the story of Darkseid and
oh yeah. Darkseid. He's also in this, and
oh yeah.
Is he really though?
A major addition. Well, I mean, to be quite honest, that little nightmare sequence that Cyborg has really does, pump him up to be a pretty big threat.
But like, they really didn't do much for Darkseid, and he's supposed to be the DC equivalent of Thanos, but better.
Well, I mean, overall, this movie wasn't meant to introduce him as like the big bad right away. Like, he was supposed to be in the background, like in the 2017 version.
Right.
He was only name dropped once. This one, he only appears for maybe 5 minutes of the movie, but like, I mean, even still, 5 minutes out of a 4-hour movie and still has that much of a presence. That's pretty impressive on how intimidating they make him.
I was watching the movie with J-Chip, and J-Chip can remember when I said out loud, like, so are they gonna fight Darkseid at the end of this movie? Because, like, I mean, this goes into the topic that I'm sure we'll talk about at the end of the podcast of whether or not we actually think this Snyderverse is going to continue. But I was thinking, like, they're fighting Darkseid at the end of this movie, right? Because why the fuck else would this be 4 hours long?
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, they couldn't do anything really at all.
Well, I mean, he also had to fill in a lot of what Joss Whedon ended up taking over. Because I think they were still in the process of filming the whole movie, then Joss took over, so he still had scenes he needed to redo. And then Joss took over and added his flair to it.
So that epilogue, well, first of all, can I just say that I never thought we'd see Jared Leto in the Joker role again, because, like, if you remember what he said about Warner Brothers when he was asked about it, he was like, fuck him.
He shat all over Warner Brothers. He seems to be doing better, honestly. The character's definitely cleaned up. His Joker.
In a sense, his tattoos are all gone, but his mouth makeup is disgusting.
Yeah,
but I mean, it fits the character.
Yeah, this is definitely a way better.
Well,
I'd say in talking about that epilogue, I'd say it's a better Joker. I haven't seen Suicide Squad, so maybe I shouldn't say, but from what I have seen of that version's Joker, this one's way better.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit disappointed with the epilogue, though.
Me too!
Because the only thing that I'm a little disappointed about is that the studios have basically come out and said they're not continuing on with the Snyderverse. Yeah. They'll do individual movies, but another Justice League or continuing on with this story, it's not happening. So why would you spend the money to shoot an epilogue like this to tease us?
Right.
Like that? That is just the worst thing to do to us.
Oh, I was wondering, like, I didn't. Okay, that's new information that you just gave me, Cube. I didn't know Warner Brothers actually came out and said, yeah, after this movie, like, the Snyder saga is pretty much done. So we're not getting another Justice League after this. So why?
Not another Snyder cut, or not another Snyder version.
So we know for a fact that it's not like that epilogue was like leftover footage from back in 2017 when they thought they were going to make more movies. This is new footage, so why did he make it if we're not getting more movies?
I'm hoping that he put that in because he was told, like, you're getting this and that's all you're going to get. You can add whatever you want to the movie. So I think he added this epilogue in to kind of tease people so that it's also petitioned for new movies.
Petition.
Like,
I have a feeling he just did this to try to push the fans, just to push the studios to give him 2 more movies.
You know, that does sound like something he would do, since he was a big, like, contributor of the whole release the Snyder Cut thing.
And to be quite honest, I would love it if they gave him 2 more movies. Like, this Justice League movie, like, it sets up so much. I want to see it.
I'm going to say, like, what I thought was going to happen with that epilogue, because we get that whole nightmare sequence. Again, this is talking about the very end of the movie, so yeah. Spoilers, again, just a second warning. It's a vision of the same future we've seen in these movies a million times, of, like, evil Superman, Darkseid has taken over the world, and then Batman wakes up, and we see somebody flying down from the sky with a cape. I thought...
Oh, it's definitely Superman.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Superman showing up, because I thought for a minute, like, I thought that this whole epilogue, this was going to, like, both, like, tie up the loose ends we left with both Batman v Superman and the visions that Batman was having in that movie, where Superman shows up, and then Batman's just like we never, like, we had a whole movie of Superman and Batman fighting, and the two never actually reconciled at any point. So I was hoping that this epilogue that Zack Snyder recently filmed was its purpose. Like, Superman was going to show up, and Batman was like, I had another dream about the future where you're evil. So I know we've fought a lot, and I trust you now, but I need you to promise me that no matter what happens, that future will not come. And Superman would just be like, I promise. And Batman would be like,
yeah, bro.
And Batman would be like, okay, cool. So we good? And Superman's like, yeah, we good. And that would be the end of the movie. Like, I thought maybe that was its purpose, but no, it's Martian Manhunter, who just comes out of fucking nowhere.
Like, I literally fucking, like, I totally forgot who the fuck that character was. So, like, when me and Zay were watching it together, I'm like, because I thought it was going to be Superman, and then I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Well, let's talk about the other time he pops up, which is when he's talking to Lois Lane. Like, why do you?
Yeah.
What's the point?
We
need you to come back to the world, Lois Lane. Is like, okay.
When he showed up,
how does he know any of this?
When he showed up, all I could think was like, where the fuck have you been this whole time? Yeah. Why didn't you? Why?
Well, I find it funny because he was a character in, like, Man of Steel. He was in Batman v Superman, but just I remember reading rumors that actor would be playing Martian Manhunter, and I guess they finally decided to, like, prove those theories right in this.
Which actor?
It's the guy who plays General Swanson. I'm
gonna pretend like I remember who that is and be like, really?
Do you remember Man of Steel there? There's that end scene where he's like, that was a $6 million drone he just crashed. It was.
Yeah, I remember that.
That general is the same guy playing Martian Manhunter.
Okay. So Martian Manhunter's been here since the beginning?
He's been here since the beginning, and this is the only time he's shown up to reveal himself.
He's basically just sitting in the background, and he's sitting in the background while everyone else does shit, and he's like, you got this covered, man. I believe in you.
They don't call me the Earth Man Saver. This ain't my problem.
They don't call me.
You know what I was going to say earlier? As soon as you mentioned the epilogue, that they basically pulled a fucking panty and stocking ending. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. God, I could rant and rant about how much that pisses me off. The double standard people have with sequel baiting endings, where like people will look at something bad that has a sequel bait ending, like the live action Last Airbender movie, and be like, haha, look at this dumbass movie thinking it was gonna get a sequel. You don't get to do a cliffhanger ending if you don't know if you're going to get a sequel. How stupid are you? But then they'll look at something good, like Panty and Stocking, which does the same thing, and be like, how dare the studios, like, not let these creators continue the story. How dare they debate us like this?
God damn it.
I don't understand why studios just are so out of touch with the content they're making.
Yeah.
I don't care if your thing is good. I don't care if it's bad. End your fucking story. Do not end on a cliffhanger because you do not know if you will get a sequel. So don't do it.
And then Dragon Ball shits all over that.
Next time on Dragon Ball.
I said that specifically because Zay is a huge Dragon Ball fan.
What? I don't believe that's the reason you said it.
Anyways.
But can we go back to the Martian Manhunter thing? Because I was really ticked off with the way they did actually like introduce him there. Because they have this heartfelt scene with Martha Kent and Lois Lane talking, and they're kind of grieving together.
Yeah, that's really fucked up.
Then Martha Kent walks out and is like, "Oh, it wasn't her at all. It was some creep who's been kind of in the background." It's like, why couldn't that have been actual Martha Kent?
Yeah, I saw that as, like, really fucked up.
Yeah. Like, why are you intruding on these people's lives?
You're not even doing anything!
Why does he know that Martha Kent has lost the house and everything? Like, what is he monitoring?
Honestly,
why should he care?
Honestly, it might just be me, Q, but, like, honestly, I was... Like, to begin with, I was having trouble caring about the scenes with Lois Lane and stuff because, like, she spends a whole movie grieving over Superman, and I watched those past two movies, and this version of Superman is so fucking boring, so I really didn't care.
But to be fair, Superman is boring. I'm gonna anger the internet by saying that, but Superman is fucking white bread.
I understand why you would say that, but I will also say in return that if you think that, you probably haven't watched enough Superman animated movies, or at least none of the good ones.
Also, can I point out of how great like it was when Superman did return? Like, if we compared the scenes from the 2017 version of him coming in and is like, "Well, I'm also a fan of justice," like just a cheesy line. This one, he just kind of appears and is just not impressed. And then he proceeds to break his axe and beat the living shit out of him.
Yeah.
I stood up and I was like almost giddy. Like, that was a cool scene.
It was total badass. But again, talking about that
like
finale,
the music score building up, like, oh, it was...
No, you know what line sticks out to me? When Flash asks fucking Batman, "What's his superpower?" "I'm rich."
I'm rich.
J-Chip, we watched the movie together again. So J-Chip heard my reaction when I heard that, where I was just like, I was so sure that was a Joss Whedon add-in. I was so sure of it because I'm just like, that sounds like something that Iron Man would say. So I figured Joss Whedon was just like, oh god, I gotta write this Justice League movie. Okay, what do I do with Batman? He is a billionaire. Just make him Iron Man, sure.
You were like, come on. I was fucking dying laughing.
I did not know that was a just...
Also, I'm just noticing something because I'm rewatching the Superman scene, and like when it goes slow motion and he's slowly dodging it, we get that close-up of Steppenwolf's hand. Why are there 7 fingers? Like, it's not that it's like one extra finger. You make it an odd number with 7?
Wait.
Why?
Well, we have odd number fingers.
Well, yeah, we have 5, but like, I mean, whenever you do like, he has an extra opposable thumb, like, sure, that makes sense. But why does he have like 3 thumbs?
3 thumbs.
And how did the bottom ones even work?
Cube, of all the stuff to...
He's thinking about the logistics of it.
But how does he hold his axe? Which ones does it go in between? Is it like 4 on one side, 3 on the other, or is it like 6 and 1?
God. I just like the mental gymnastics around.
Yeah.
The 7 fingers of doom.
Oh, yeah, that's the slogan of this movie. It's Unite the 7.
Oh, it's like a parallel.
Oh, it makes sense now. Wow.
The seven deadly sinful hands. Fingers. Shit.
1 finger for every deadly sin.
Oh, it's like symbolism. Yo, Zack Snyder's a genius.
But question 2 is, which one's his middle finger?
The 5th finger?
I mean, but that would be like the ring.
No, wait.
4,
us, right?
4, JJ.
Wait.
4 is in the middle of 7. Know your math.
Shut up!
Anyway, the climax of this movie is pretty cool. Like, way better than 2017. Like, so much better. Like,
Yeah.
it was actually...
But I mean, the 2017 version, actually, he had 5 fingers.
Also, I actually lied that one of the other movies that I did see leading up to it was Aquaman. Oh my god. Jason Momoa as
he's the
fucking
best.
Aquaman
He's the best.
the best in this movie. He's so amazing in this movie. Oh my god.
I liked him in Aquaman.
He makes the characters so fucking good.
Like, you never thought when you have an Aquaman movie, you think it... Like, everybody thinks Aquaman's just a lame character. But the way they present him in this stuff is so good.
When you think of Aquaman, you think of this tall, buff white dude, blonde hair or brown hair at the least.
But yeah, Aquaman was amazing.
Yeah, actually-
I was actually going to talk about the climax of the movie because it was actually when it got to I'm so glad Superman just didn't like come in and solve all their problems because man, the Flash dude, that scene with him like running super fast and turning back time, that might be one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a superhero movie, period. That was so awesome.
I said multiple times throughout the movie, if anyone's gonna die in this movie, it has to be Flash.
And that
It has to be Flash.
And that scene, like it was like it looked like he was going to die because before he starts running, like he even says to himself, like, Dad, no matter what happens, just know that you were right. Your son was one of the best of the best. And I was just like, that's such a good final line for him. Like if he had died, that would have been a great like last line.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, what is kind of neat, like he's actually basically repeating what his dad told him while he was talking to him in prison there.
Yeah.
Flash was one of the big between him and Cyborg, he was the big heart of the movie, like the biggest emotional core.
Also, too, one little detail that I did really love, difference between the 2017 and this one, is when they were reviving Superman, they have that thing where they're dropping the mother box into the pool, and then Flash has to charge it.
Mm-hmm.
In the 2017 one, they make the statement there is like he has to charge it as soon as it touches the pool. And I think they pretty much say the same thing in here, but the slight difference there is that the box starts going into the pool. Like, it starts splashing before he's even close to it. And you just kind of start getting this, like, well, he's missing it. Like, it's already touching. And then just the slight hint that he's able to manipulate time. It starts going backwards just for a few moments, and then boom. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
okay, we're setting up something.
Yeah,
we're setting up something.
That's set up so good. And it leads to the best moment in the movie. I think it might be my favorite moment in the movie is Flash saving the day, which that was first of all, that scene was super intense because Flash gets shot and he gets injured and he stops running, and like you see the portal with Darkseid open up and it's just like, oh shit, this is actually intense. Like this, I remember being so disappointed about how anticlimactic the original Justice League was. This is way better. And then the fucking world explodes, and that's just like, oh shit. And then, and then we get that awesome. Okay, so talking about that scene because I have a couple of thoughts. When we watched the movie, J-Chip, we were talking about how like we wish the Flash had died in that moment because that was the perfect time for him to die. That would have been a great way.
I don't wish for him to die, but like I know that he should have died in that moment.
He should have. I don't want to say like I kind of disagree in that I disagree with it from like a production standpoint of just like, well, like he's one of the main Justice League characters, like we need him like for the remainder of the movie. But even beside that, I'm not sure if I agree that he should have died, but I do think that there should have been at least consequences to what he did. Because after he gets shot, like the movie sets it up like this big turning back the clock thing that he's doing. Like he says to himself, he gives that big, no matter what happens, like acting like he's going, like this is the end. Like, so like I would have preferred it if like he does go back in time, but then we see it Flash, like, after it's over, we see him, like, collapse on the ground or something, and then the rest of the Justice League comes in to, like, help him, and then it cuts to later, and he's in either a hospital or being treated by Alfred, so, like, we see that he survived the thing, but, like, I know people would have, like, called it cliche, or, like, death baiting or whatever. I know people would have complained about it, but I would have been okay with it, because it showed that, like, what he did actually had consequences, because as it is in the movie right now, the injury that he gets from being shot after he goes back in time and stops the world from exploding, it's just like poof, it's gone now. Like Flash is just fine.
Yeah, and it's just
that is kind of one of Flash's superpowers, though, is that he can heal himself that quick.
Yeah, and everyone that knows like the Flash character, everyone that knows about Flash as a character, knows about his trick to go back in time. Like everyone knows that like he's putting himself at risk when he goes back in time, if he attempts it.
So how much do you guys know about like the Flashpoint?
I've seen the Flashpoint movie.
Okay, like the animated one, but do you know they're making a live action?
Yeah, yes, we talked about this last podcast, where he's going to be traveling, to Tim Burton world.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that movie's having Ezra Miller back. Like, this is basically setting up the Flashpoint movie. It's showing that he has this ability, and he's probably going to try it again.
Yeah, okay, another thing, I'm not sure, like, if, like with Flash's ability to go back in time, since Zack Snyder obviously wants to see this series, like, continued, where, like, because he obviously added that extra, like, epilogue, so he wants more movies, but, like, there's no stakes anymore. Because I'm going to be watching the future movies and just being like, Flash, why can't you just go back in time and fix this like you did last time? Like, with this power Flash has, there's no stakes anymore.
It's a lot like the original Superman there, where, the earthquake happens, Lois Lane dies. He just goes and flies around the world and makes it go the opposite direction.
Yeah. It's just like, well, if you can do that, then, like, why should I, like, what? Like, that big apocalyptic...
fly around the world so fast, and I'm gonna slap your little bat bottom.
That big apocalyptic future that we see Batman vision of, where Superman is evil and Darkseid is one, we see Flash in the future with him, alive and well. So I'm just like, Flash, why are you here? Go back in time and stop this!
Well, I mean, that's also where in Batman v Superman, there's that scene where Flash is talking to Bruce there, saying Lois Lane is the key. I think there might be some sort of rule that's going to be set where he can only go back so far before, like, it becomes world-altering. Like, he can only speak, but then he has to go back. But if he ends up staying, like, it could make like, exactly what the Flashpoint movie's going to be, like an alternate universe.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're definitely going to have to explain some things, but I feel like they're going to put some rules with how Flash can use his power.
Right. Or they would, except we're not getting any more movies according to Warner Brothers.
Well, nothing from Zack Snyder's vision, which means no more Justice League. But from what I hear, they're still doing Ezra Miller's Flash, and I think another Aquaman movie. So the reason why Henry Cavill ended up backing out from Superman is because he started getting other contracts with other TV shows like The Witcher. If you had the option to either cancel the Witcher series and have more Justice League, would you go for that? Or would you still go with like all the stuff Henry Cavill's doing?
I haven't seen The Witcher, but I hear he was really good in the Mission Impossible movie.
I personally would love more Superman.
I personally would like the other shit because I don't give a single shit about Superman.
It kind of ditto to what Jacob said.
I don't know. I really liked him as Superman.
Man of Steel kind of like did his character better for me, but I still don't care about him. Like honestly, but
yeah,
he wasn't bad. He wasn't terrible in this Justice League Snyder cut. He wasn't.
No, he wasn't
terrible. Like his character wasn't that bad. Other than the fact that he was just a Deus Ex Machina, he did pretty well. When he was just becoming himself again. When he actually became himself again and became aware of everything, like that's when his character started getting better in the movie.
Also, can I just say that scene where he's beating up the entire Justice League there? That moment where Batman comes onto the scene there and tells like the soldiers like, "Get up, go hide over there." Just Superman's eye contact with him there, like, I was like, oh fuck, this man's pissed.
I don't remember anything else, but I remember you.
Yeah. It's like, that little memory there is like, you caused a lot of my pain. It's like, oh.
He's like, bitch, I live.
Also, I'm really glad they got rid of that stupid line there is like, tell me, do you bleed? It's like, oh, yeah, something's definitely bleeding.
Oh yeah, speaking of blood, not only did this movie not have to be 4 hours, it didn't have to be R-rated either.
Yeah.
And, like, the violence was certainly like, whoa, geez, especially when that like guy underwater got cut in half. I was just like, oh shit, that was brutal.
I'm just glad we got to hear Batman say fuck.
I will fucking kill you.
Yeah, like, I'm saying, like, it didn't have to be R-rated because, like, this, it kind of feels like how I, as a teenager, used to write, like, M-rated fanfics, where it would just, like, it would only be M-rated just because, like, I didn't know how to write M-rated stories, so I would just add in a lot of swearing and blood.
I mean, I can believe it coming from an abridger.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, I really like your video of your compilation of every swear word in your...
Imagine if I did that for fucking ADA, it'd be twice as long as that video.
I love it that the comedy can just be simple swearing over things that don't need swearing.
Anyways,
yeah.
Swearing is funny. Look.
I have a feeling that there's going to be enough petitioning, though, that more Justice League movies will come. It might be a few years down the road, though, but I have a feeling they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Man, we got Zack Snyder, we got 2 Suicide Squad universes, we've got the new Batman, we've got Walking Phoenix Joker. I think at this point it's just better to just say, okay, let's not try and connect these in our heads at all, and just go and just say, as the Warner Brothers are clearly going, and just say, fuck it. Just do whatever you want. Make whatever movie you want.
But I'm a comic book fan, and I have to overthink everything.
Well, it's like in that new Wonder Woman movie that just came out. Like, all of a sudden they give her the superpower to fly, but she forgets about it by the time she gets to Justice League. Sorry, just one detail I noticed.
You're making me think too much.
Why would you give her the ability to fly in a prequel?
Oh my god, DC.
I don't get a lot of things in the DC universe. I don't get a lot of things in comic books in general.
Yeah, I'm not a comic book reader. I just know these characters from the cartoons and the movies. And
I barely understand anime. You expect me to keep track of comics?
Yes. That's exactly what we expect from you. And also, too, if we're closing it up here really quick, I feel like it's a good thing to mention because it's one of the last things in the movie there is it's the whole reason why Snyder left the original one.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
wow, that was like you're talking about at the very end of the movie when For Autumn came up on screen.
Autumn.
That was man, that was some heartbreaking shit, but also it was very nice to see. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very happy they put them in because I'm sure, not to get too sappy here or sound cliche or anything, but I'm sure Zack Snyder's daughter would have been very happy to see this movie come out.
Yeah.
And I think with that, I think that's a good time to end it. So, overall, yes. I'm going to give, just some of my thoughts, I'm going to give this movie the same rating I gave Ralph Breaks the Internet. It's not amazing, but it's good. Thumbs up, go watch it.
I say B+. Again, it's not a bad grade.
I say we gotta start petitioning to make sequels. It's obvious that they can't keep it in this universe the way it is. They gotta do other things with it. They gotta go into the apocalypse universe and
I disagree with you.
And make well, I don't know what voice to do when I say this. I don't know who I'm mocking when I say this, but and make Joker actually say we live in a society this time instead of putting it in the trailer.
We live in a society.
Yeah, spoiler. One last spoiler warning. He doesn't actually say that in the movie. They were just fucking with us.
Bullshit. 0 out of 10.
Well, I think that's about it for us. Thank you all for listening to this very long review of Justice League, of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time on the next episode of BrainWatched.
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
They're coming from all corners of the universe to a Burger King near you. The Superpowers Cup Holders. Only Burger King puts them under your child's command. When they buy a soft drink, they can get a Superpowers Cup Holder to play with for just $1.19. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Darkseid.